There is a substance sitting in millions of homes right now. It is treated as trash. We sweep it up, we dump it in the bin, and we pay to have it taken away. But inside that gray, dusty powder lies a secret that our ancestors understood, but one that modern industry has quietly, completely ignored. What if I told you that this waste product is actually pure, concentrated life? What if I told you that 1 cup of this material, when treated with a specific biological process, has the power to make your plants bloom weeks earlier than your neighbors? It can make your tomatoes taste sweeter, it can make your peppers grow larger, and it can make your flowers explode with color. They call this the forbidden fertilizer. Now, why would a fertilizer be forbidden? Is it illegal? No. Is it dangerous? Well, yes, if you use it wrong. But the real reason it has been forbidden from modern gardening knowledge is simple. It is free. You cannot patent wood ash. You cannot put a barcode on the byproduct of a winter fire. The $60 billion fertilizer industry exists to sell you nitrogen. They exist to sell you phosphorus. They exist to sell you potassium in colorful plastic bags. They do not want you to know that the most potent source of potassium is sitting in your fireplace right now. But there is a catch, a big one. If you take raw ash and dump it on your plants, you will likely kill them. It is too strong. It is caustic. It is basically lye. The secret, the trick that transforms this dangerous dust into green gold is fermentation. Today on Easy Gardening for Seniors and Juniors, we are going deep. We are going to uncover the chemistry, the history, and the exact step-by-step recipe to make fermented ash tea. This is not just a gardening hack. This is lost technology. And by the end of this documentary, you will never look at your fireplace the same way again. Welcome back to the channel. Let's unlock the secret, the biology of fire. To understand why this works, we have to understand what wood ash actually is. When a tree grows, it spends 50, maybe 100 years sucking minerals out of the deep earth. Its roots go down deep, mining the soil for calcium, for magnesium, for iron, and especially for potassium. The tree uses these minerals to build its bones, its trunk, and its branches. When we burn that wood, the fire consumes the carbon and the water. It sends them up as smoke, but the fire cannot destroy the minerals. So, what is left behind in that pile of gray ash? It is the concentrated mineral soul of the forest. It is 50 years of nutrition condensed into a teaspoon. Specifically, wood ash is the best natural source of potassium on the planet. In fertilizer numbers, NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, wood ash is roughly 0, 1, 10. 0 nitrogen, some phosphorus, and a massive amount of potassium. Why does that matter? Nitrogen grows leaves. That is great for grass. But potassium is different. Potassium is the traffic director of the plant. It tells the plant to move water. It tells the plant to open its flowers. It is responsible for the sweetness in your fruit. It is responsible for the strength of the stems. If your tomatoes are splitting, if your flowers are falling off before they bloom, or if your plants look weak and floppy, they are screaming for potassium. Our ancestors knew this. The word potash, which is what we call mined potassium today, literally comes from potash, ash soaked in a pot. They did not buy fertilizer, they made it. But they faced a problem, and it is the same problem you face today, the danger. I see so many videos telling you to just sprinkle ash on your soil. Please stop doing this, or at least be very, very careful. Here is the science they do not tell you. Wood ash is extremely alkaline. It has a pH of about 10 to 12. To give you context, water is 7, lemon juice is 2, and bleach is 11. Raw wood ash is chemically closer to bleach than it is to soil.
When you dump raw ash on your garden, 2 bad things happen. First, you shock the soil life. The worms, the bacteria, the fungi, they hate that sudden pH spike. It burns their skin. You are essentially sanitizing your living soil. Second, when the pH gets that high, it locks out other nutrients. Iron and magnesium become stuck in the soil chemistry. The plant cannot eat them. So even though you added nutrients, your plant starves. This is why people fail. They try the ancient method, they burn their plants, and they go back to buying the blue powder from the store. But there is a loophole. There is a way to lower the pH. There is a way to unlock the nutrients and make it safe before it ever touches the soil. We do not just mix it, we ferment it. About 70 years ago, in the aftermath of war, farmers in Korea were struggling. They could not afford expensive imported chemicals. They needed to rebuild their soil with what they had. A man named Cho Han-kyu began to experiment. He developed a system we now call Korean natural farming. He asked a simple question: how does nature release minerals from rock? The answer was microbes. He realized that if you mix wood ash with water and a food source, something magical happens. You invite life into the jar. When we add sugar or honey to the ash water, we wake up the bacteria. We wake up the wild yeasts. As these microbes eat the sugar, they produce acids. Think about yogurt or vinegar. They are acidic. These mild organic acids interact with the harsh alkaline ash. They start to neutralize that dangerous pH. They bring it down from a burning 12 to a manageable 8. But they do something even more important. They perform chelation. That's a fancy word, but it just means wrapping a gift. The microbes take the raw minerals, the calcium and the potassium, and they wrap them in organic molecules. This makes the minerals bioavailable. Think of it like this. Raw ash is like trying to chew on a rock. It has calcium, but your body cannot process it. Fermented ash is like drinking a glass of milk. The calcium is ready to be absorbed instantly. When you pour this fermented tea on your plants, they don't have to work for it. They drink it up immediately. The result is explosive growth. All right, grab a pen and paper. I am going to give you the exact recipe. Do not deviate from this. Chemistry is like baking. You need to follow the rules. Step 1. The ash. You need 1 cup of wood ash. This must be from clean, untreated wood. Fireplace ash is perfect. Wood stove ash is perfect. Never use ash from charcoal briquettes. They contain coal and chemical accelerants. Never use ash if you burned plastic or painted wood. Those contain lead and toxins. We want clean, white, or gray ash from natural logs. Step 2. The water. You need 10 cups of water. Ideally, use rainwater. If you use tap water, let it sit out for 24 hours. We need the chlorine to evaporate. We are trying to grow microbes, and chlorine kills microbes. Step 3. The fuel. You need 1 tablespoon of sugar. White sugar works. Brown sugar works. Honey works. Molasses is actually the best because it adds extra iron, but plain sugar is fine. This is food for the bacteria. Step 4. The vessel. Put it all in a glass jar or a plastic bucket. Do not use a metal container. The ash can react with aluminum or iron. Use glass or plastic. Step 5. The process. Stir it well. Now, and this is critical, do not seal the lid tight. Fermentation creates gas. If you seal it, it might explode. Cover it with an old t-shirt or a cheesecloth. Use a rubber band to hold it in place. This keeps the flies out, but lets the air in. Place this jar in a cool, dark spot, like a cupboard or a garage. Let it sit for 10 to 14 days. Stir it gently every day or two. You want to get some oxygen in there. You will see bubbles forming. You might see a white film on top. That is yeast. That is good. The liquid will turn a golden tea-like color. After 10 days, strain the liquid through a cloth. Throw the solid sludge into your compost pile. It is still good for the worms. The liquid gold left behind, that is your forbidden tonic. So, what happens when you actually use this? Let's walk through the timeline because this is not a slow-release fertilizer. This is rocket fuel. Week 1, the root awakening. 3 to 5 days after your first application, you might not see much above ground, but underground, the roots are going crazy. The calcium in the ash is building stronger cell walls. The roots are branching out. They are hunting for water. Week 2, the green shift. Around day 10, you will notice the leaves. If your plants were pale or yellowish, they will turn a deep, dark forest green. This is the magnesium at work. Magnesium is the center of the chlorophyll molecule. It allows the plant to trap more sunlight. More sunlight means more energy. Week 3, the explosion. This is where it gets fun. If you are growing tomatoes or peppers or roses, you will see the flower buds forming. But not just a few, you will see clusters. The potassium is telling the plant to reproduce. The stems will get thicker to support the weight of the future fruit. Gardeners who use this often report harvesting 2 weeks earlier than usual. And the taste? That is the best part. Potassium increases the sugar content in fruit. Your strawberries will be sweeter. Your tomatoes will have that rich, complex flavor that you can never find in a supermarket. How to apply it. Now you have a bottle of high-power concentrate. Do not drink it. And do not pour it straight on your plants. It is still too strong. You must dilute it. The golden ratio is 1 to 10. Take 1 cup of your fermented tea and mix it into 10 cups of plain water. How to apply? Pour this directly onto the soil at the base of your plants. This is called a soil drench. Do this once a week during the flowering season. Watch your tomatoes, watch your squash. When they start to set buds, hit them with this tea. A critical warning. Because this is alkaline, do not use this on acid-loving plants. Do not put this on your blueberries. Do not put it on azaleas.
Do not put it on rhododendrons. They hate it. But for everything else, vegetables, herbs, fruit trees, it is a miracle. You can also use it as a foliar spray. Mix it weaker, maybe 1 part tea to 20 parts water. Spray it on the leaves in the early morning. The leaves will absorb the minerals directly. This acts like an IV drip for the plant. It fixes deficiencies in hours, not days. Now we have to address the elephant in the room. If this is so amazing, why isn't it on the shelf at the garden center? Why doesn't the guy on the TV gardening show talk about it? The answer is shelf life and profit. This fermented tea is alive. It is full of living bacteria. You cannot put it in a plastic bottle and ship it across the country. If it sits on a shelf for a month, the bacteria will die or the bottle will explode from the gas. It has to be made fresh. It has to be made local. And that is a nightmare for a corporation. They want a product that can sit in a warehouse for 5 years. They want a product that is exactly the same every time. Fermented ash is wild. It varies depending on the wood you burned. It varies depending on the water you used. It refuses to be standardized. And most importantly, it is free. How can a company make billions of dollars if they tell you to burn some sticks and add some sugar? They can't, so they don't. They ignore it. They omit it from the textbooks. They tell you that ash is dangerous and they hope you keep buying the blue powder. But we know better. Gardening is about more than just food. It is about independence. It is about understanding the cycle of life. The tree grows, it feeds the fire, the ash feeds the soil, and the soil feeds the new tree. When you use wood ash, you are closing that circle. You are not relying on a factory in a different country. You are not relying on a supply chain that might break. You are using what nature gave you. This is the kind of wisdom that we are trying to preserve here on Easy Gardening for Seniors and Juniors. The old ways, the smart ways, the free ways. I want you to try this. If you have a fireplace, save that ash this week. Start a jar. It costs you a tablespoon of sugar. That is it. And in 2 weeks, when your garden looks like a jungle, come back to this video and leave a comment. Tell me about the taste of your tomatoes. Tell me about the size of your roses. Because when we share this knowledge, we keep it alive. If you found this forbidden knowledge valuable, please hit that like button. It helps us bypass the algorithm. It helps us reach more people who need to hear this. And subscribe if you want to become a smarter, more independent gardener. Keep your hands in the dirt, keep growing, and remember, the best fertilizer is the one you make yourself. I will see you in the next one.